All right, peeps. Welcome to another impromptu session of the Fabula Vault, where I continue to play Chrono Trigger for the first time, despite claiming to be a JRPG aficionado, which I'm learning day by day is not even close to the truth, as there's so many retro games that have inspired the content that I normally provide in Fabula Ultima that is inspiring that TTJRPG. And right here is the core rulebook, Fabula Ultima. I recommend, if you have not picked up the core rulebook, it is one of the best written, intuitive, and I would dare say inviting TTRPGs to really bring a group of people around to not only enjoy collaborative narrative, which is becoming a bigger and larger thing, but also people who have been embedded in old style TTRPGs that might be a little stymied or I dare say hindered with some bad habits that have come from those games over time. Not to say that people do not do well with them, but I feel like Fabula Ultima has been an awesome stage for someone like me who has never really played a collaborative narrative-based TTRPG, and this game system is just so great at teaching you new collaborations and promoting synergy, in whether it's in combat or other conflicts. And I highly recommend always checking it out. And that being said, getting a little promotion of Fabula Ultima out of the way out of my own accordance, we're going to continue this session of Chrono Trigger. We are currently in 65 million BC, where I have currently befriended Ayla, a primitive chief, I believe, from a local village within this area. She showcased a red rock that I had been seeking in hopes to use as a component to reconstruct the Masamune that I originally had gotten fragments from last session. And we're going through a hidden forest to go beat up some Reptites that have stolen some stuff after a huge primitive party the night before. So we're going to hop right in, and I welcome anyone who comes in, has questions about Fabula Ultima, wants to talk about it, or just enjoy the stream and talk about their experiences with Chrono Trigger, as long as there's no spoilers. Sorry, Forest Maze, not Hidden Forest. I hear that scream, and I don't visualize those things as the thing making the noise, but you know, what it is, what it is. Yeah, Robo. Now, one of the things I've learned that I really enjoy with Chrono Trigger presentation is the fact that I love how fluid it is, despite the fact you're going through time after time. It's pretty well laid out in where you need to go next. At first I thought I was going to have to be overthinking this a lot, because as a past retro Final Fantasy player, sometimes you get kind of wrapped up in the random encounters a lot of times and kind of grinding that out, that you kind of forget what you're doing. But it's good to see a progress in this game where you kind of know where you're going. I thought I was going to be a little intimidated by the amount of locations by different time, but it hasn't been the place. Oh, hello there, friend. Welcome back to my impromptu stream. How are you today? And I'm just running a circle here. Oop. It's crazy how many sounds that are just the same sound waves from Final Fantasy VI. Heckin' stressed. What's up with that? These guys are a little rough to take down without techniques. First game for a new LARP Chronicle on Saturday, and I'm the lead ST this time around, so many things on my plate to get ready. What's ST, if you don't mind me asking? That's just out of my own ignorance. This is like the second time I've been down here and don't... Oh, duh. Follow the tracks. Okay. What is this? Woodbridge? Duh. Storyteller. Term for GM in the game we're playing. Oh, have you ever been a storyteller before in that? I've actually never been involved in a LARP. I've actually... where I live, there's a major university here, and there's a lot of park, and I see some people LARPing every now and then. But I have never partaken in any. But it's pretty well attended. All the creatures make the same noise. Oh, cool. She can heal too by kissing? Wow. That's an interesting perspective of power, but okay. That's my favorite skill of all time. That could not be more ridiculous of a JRPG moment than a person having the ability to blow a kiss in some symbolism of two hearts and it heals them. Yeah, I've been doing it for 3 years with this group, just never as the lead. I was kind of de facto the lead for the latter half of the last Chronicles, but my first time doing it from the start. Listen, there's only so much room for sounds on the SNES, even if the SNES itself has pretty bitchin' sound. Hey, I'm not dog on it. I was kind of, well, I was commenting on the Final Fantasy VI nostalgia sounds, but I did make the comment about the same creatures screeching. So I guess if you want to make the indicator that you're always going to be ambushed by a monster and they make the same sound, that makes sense. I mean, it's no different than the battle transitions on random encounters from the older Final Fantasies. It's the same sound every time. Back here saying though, being storyteller, hey, you know what? I mean, we've only exchanged words for a bit through my streams and stuff, but you seem overall confident in running your games from, Fabula Ultima and all that. I'm hoping you have your own confidence. People wouldn't be, I'm assuming, I don't know if it's nominated or if you inherited, as you said, de facto, but I would assume that people have expectation, but they also have belief in you to be doing a great job at being storyteller. Also, these streams have been a welcome bit of levity in this trying time. Hey, I'm happy to have you on. I'm happy to... There's so many unexpected benefits I've had from providing this stream and having people part of it, even if at times it's just a selective group. I love experiencing this and you guys giving, your insights without spoiling. I love talking about Fabula Ultima, and I love just kind of, giving people a little bit of a outlet to just chill out and enjoy as well. I'm glad there's so many people that are coming in here and have some of the same nostalgic experiences I have, which makes sense because Fabula Ultima is a pretty foundational thing that would represent that, considering it's all about retro JRPGs. And if you played retro JRPGs, you're probably in my age demographic in most cases. How do I get down here? There's always that in one of those games, that chest that's just out of reach. Probably have to go under here. And I didn't really expect much of a showing of people since it wasn't announced and it's pretty impromptu tonight, but I was wanting to get some Chrono Trigger played, and on top of that, I might be traveling out of town for a few days for work unexpectedly, so I won't be really around, so I wanted to kind of get a little bit more out. Want to hint? Yeah, sure, why not? Oh. I think I've got 3 of the 4 components that they were talking about earlier in the trade area. There was the pedal, the feather, and something else. Head down off the ledge you're on to the right. You'll go under a pathway. Oh, okay. I wasn't too far. Oh, there's the vine right there. There, thank you. Reptite lair. Man, I'm telling you, I've already said this once before. I think it was the first or second session of this, but Squaresoft is so bass dominant on so many of the songs in their games. And it's weird because it's 2 different composers, but and maybe it's just the SNES system. Maybe it just really underlines the bass, but it can be hard to spot where to go this area with being 2 levels and limited on actual tiles. Things kind of blend together. Yeah, I mean I've played enough SNES to, you know, kind of look for that at the point, but I didn't see it on the get-go. But as soon as you said it, it was like it just illuminated right in front of me, and I was like, oh, duh. I don't know why, but I mean, definitely, I'm not saying this because I'm not enjoying this game, but I all of a sudden just had a huge desire to play Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That game was so ridiculous for its time, and I mean, and for how cartoony it was, still a little scary. I mean, granted, I was a kid when I played it, but your defenses are up against physical. Looks like that's exactly what I was thinking. That damn baby level. And of course, there's multiple, but like there's the I think that's I can't remember if they're at the mall or on a football field the first time, and it's just like running around, just like and just stomping your ass into the ground. That, and early on, I think it's like level 4 or 5. It's so crazy. It's been so long since I played that game, but it may be a little bit longer than that. But those freaking dudes with the chainsaws and the hedge mazes was pretty ridiculous too. Yeah, I there was many fights that were manifested between my little brother and I because of that game, because we would intentionally try to get each other killed. I agree. The hedge maze is cool as hell. Oh no, she's asleep. I think really the only levels I didn't like in that was the well, actually, I guess I kind of liked the pyramid ones, but those were the ones that seemed the most repetitive and like just annoying because I feel like it wasn't very open. It was a lot of thin halls and just misdirects. I noticed earlier when I'm targeting monsters, sometimes it'll show their hit points, like how many out of... Is that a special skill that someone has that I'm just not realizing? Like, is that something like Luca has? Because I've never, like, cast a scan ability or a study. Goodness gracious, I am taking this guy for granted. If memory serves, it's an item you can equip. Okay. I'm wondering, like I said, if Luca or something has it on. I also noticed, and like I'm if this is gonna be spoilers, I'm not asking for. I noticed in the little central purgatory of time where they said bring more people to learn magic, but Robo couldn't because they were not human. I'm noticing there's not a symbol on Ayla. Is she not able to do this, or is she a temporary ally? Or I guess I'm asking questions that might give revelations I don't want, but... Sight scope, there it is. Good call. He is out of MP. Ooh, a high ether. You know, I'm looking at it. So there was a friend that was watching, I think, the first stream I did. And they found it interesting because this is the first time I played this game and I'm playing as an adult instead of a kid. And making the acknowledgement that this game is so popular and the character Chrono is so iconic despite them not being very actually part of the, like, they're physically there avatared as you as the player, but not exactly has any character narrative really in the game. So she was like, I find that interesting that, you know, that's just kind of an adult point of view that I probably wouldn't have thought of when I was a kid. But another thing I was kind of thinking about is the representation of Ayla. She's obviously very, it's, you know, your typical anime scantily clad cat girl that so far her only ability is kissing. I'm curious what a lot of people would, if that is does that age well to the appraisal of a lot of people nowadays? Doesn't bug me because I've been just grown up with what I've grown up with, but I find it interesting. Like, I think a lot of people might find that as degrading as a character. I mean, in fairness, if I had any ability in any game where my bard got to heal people where I narratively blew them kisses, I would do that. And so Stonehelm was what I was looking at. Oh, that's quite a jump. Ah! Damn, Ayla. That's a hell of a crit. I don't even think I crit that hard when I do cleave. Rondilo kick. Okay, okay. Spin cook dual tech. Hell yeah. Drill kick dual tech. I got a little too angsty and went in trying to attack it like it was Sea of Stars, thinking I could get a one-up on them. Excuse me. You know, and it's interesting you say that. Sorry, actually, I'm going to read that. Ayla kind of hits on that flirtatious sort of trope. She's introduced by flirting and straight up coming out as bi. It's actually a very interesting, because I will be honest, I think as a kid, I would not have picked up on that. I truly did, you know, when she was talking to both Luca and him, as said, you know, like strong man, like strong woman. But I mean, that's just me being a kid, not knowing any better. But I guess that's actually an interesting concept, because at the same time, like I said, if you look at Ayla, if you just look at drawing Ayla, she looks a little ditzy because she's primitive, quote unquote. She's wearing practically nothing. She's flirtatious, so people would see that degrading. But at the same time, it's actually pretty progressive at this time level of her being outspoken, being openly bi, as far as loving both men, or attracted both men and women. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but being an adult, much more knowledgeable, it reads very bi to me now. Yeah, that exactly. So. Exactly what I was just saying, though. It's one of those things where I guess you could give a little leeway of progressiveness in that aspect, because I can't think of too many characters that in the retro era of JRPGs that would, at least in my brain, and I might be just overlapping ones that would be considered bi, or just straight up homosexual. At least I can't think of any off the top of my head. I know there's some. I just recently played Final Fantasy VI. And I've read online there's a few people that feel like it hasn't aged appropriately with Edgar being a little flirtatious towards the young girls of Figaro, and I was like, as a kid, even as a kid, I was like, I didn't think like he was actually trying to do anything. I thought it was more of like, you know, him being respectful and just kind of playing around. I don't know why I'm going to the concept of conceptual things that might be not appreciated now or seen as negative, but ooh, defense lowered by... Oh, I forgot. That guy said defense, lightning lowers their defense. That was last session, so I totally forgot. Ooh, save spot. I get excited when I see save spots in dungeons. Also nervous. That right there, and with the lightning hitting them and then drawing their vulnerabilities down, or sorry, their defensive down, that would be an interesting factor you could put into maybe Crisis or something like that. Or maybe even just, that's the thing, maybe they have resistance to defense unless you hit them with the lightning, and then for the next round their resistance on physical's down or something like that. Oh, I should have.
Ayla! And so the Hellas tapes arrive. Ah, these new ones appear cut from a finer cloth than Ayla. Perfect. This should make things easier. Tell me, apes, what is the purpose of this device?
Tell Ayla about Gate Key.
We do that. Yes, I like... Lies. Do you take me for a fool? No one would talk so easily if that were true. But perhaps this might loosen your tongues.
Yeah, it would be interesting. To drop their defense when you hit a vulnerability. Yeah, right. It's one of those things, like, I don't want to make them too vulnerable to, like, if they hit a vulnerability, it also drops their defense, but I don't know. I mean, like, that's definitely something I think in the more extended mechanics of it I would consider. But at the same time, like, I like it. I feel like if they're already hitting a vulnerability, they're not going to. But you could also do it where, you know, they hit Crisis and change their affinities too, to kind of make it a little more of a puzzle. But might give that a try in this next arc. Oh, using, okay, cool. Let me know if you do that. Banger music incoming. Okay.
Come, need spell.
Uh-oh. Pause real quick and take a sip. All right. Oh, I was like, I cast lightning. Well, E. Okay. I am glad I got 2 healers now though in group though. Damn, that hit hard. I learned my lesson from last time, Erica. I see you said something, and I want to respond, but I felt like that was the downplay of my success on boss fights. Yeah, that's what I thought. I figured with the name like Drill Tick that Kick it was gonna do significant damage. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Man, that electric discharge is brutal. All right, but yeah, next bit my game is likely to be heavy on elementals, so good opportunity to test the elemental. Yeah, actually, that's a great example. I feel like elementals have been like, at least, I mean, that's just my experience. They've been very underused in my brain, and I need to look to use them more. Have you dug through the bestiary at all yet? I've been sticking strictly to the core rulebook because of the content I was doing, but at the same time, though, now that I've really adhered to that, I want to see some of the stuff that was created. I saw the ridiculous ability. I can't remember if it was a boss ability or required Ultima points or anything like that, where it's the unlucky thing where like they choose a trait for the players, and anytime they try to re-roll using a Fabula point, if they use the selected trait, it's automatically a gosh dang it, sorry, I'm trying to talk again while getting my ass handed to me. Definitely need Chrono back. Yep, there's some real good stuff in the beast here. I'm fond of the spells with high roll 8 plus riders rather than opportunity riders. I'm actually not familiar with what you're saying on that. If you don't mind elaborating on that, I was going to say, yeah, the ability that automatically makes one of their traits a failure or fumble is absurd. That's the exact type of great things that I love about the game, starting to put in things more of a meta effect than actually just the combat effect. Azala.
The apes beat Nisbel.
Give back thing Chrono now.
Very well. You've won today, but you know we Reptites are the rulers of this world. We'll not surrender to you filthy apes.
There's some spells that say things like, if the high roll of the magic check is 8+, then this extra thing. Oh, that's cool. Do you feel that with the bestiary coming into play, that's become much more advantageous for someone being a chimera, or chimerist? Ayla, come anytime. No. What just happened there? Chrono leave? No, Chrono. Ayla, no fun. Thank you so much for everything, Ayla. We had a great time with you. Sorry, Chrono. Kino tried to be strong now. Even more strong, Chrono. Come again, Chrono. Have party, drink, eat, dance, fight, fun. It's certainly added interesting ideas for spells for the Chimerists in my group. I'm very intrigued. Like, there hasn't really been anyone that's been enticed with Chimerist yet. And I'm thinking it's because, well, at the time, I think they were all just investing in their certain spells. And we used the, kind of the press start edition Mako when we did the first one with my group. But the player that ended up playing him, he decided he just didn't want to play Fabula Ultima. Actually, he had other stuff he was trying to do. It wasn't just he didn't want to play. So we kind of narratively put him out of the game. Where he no longer existed, neither did... Well, he existed, he's gravely injured, but... So, I don't get to keep Ayla with me. Let's go to the marketplace and see if I have all the stuff. Come again, Chrono, Robo, Marl too. What about Luca? I don't want Marl in my group. Get Petal, Fang, Horn, Feather. When rain, rare monster come out. Rare one, good hunt. Okay, so I have all those items that lady is talking about. When rain, rare monster come out. Rare one, good hunt. Okay. The petals are currency to trade. Gotcha. Yeah, just in this area or like in general? This trade house, you bring things, trade new things. Want no item? Petal and Fang, trade ruby gun. There we go. Okay. Petal and Horn, trade shaman's bow. Petal and Feather, trade arm. Fang and Horn, trade mammoth tusk. Okay. Fang and Feather, trade ruby vest. Horn and Feather, trade... I'll tell you a good thing. Ruby vest strong against fire. Not too hot when wear. Who do I trade with? Do I, like, sell items to obtain it, or am I just missing something here? Petal and Fang, Petal and Horn. Okay. I'm an idiot. Defeating monsters in the woods outside of the Reptite lair will drop those items. I did notice that, and you have to have that combination for that item. Okay. Bang Hammer gives me 6. 3 each, 2 kind. I give you good strong thing. What you give me? I'm 1 horn short. I can't refuse. Give me 6. 3 each, 2 kind. Okay. Yes, I want the ruby gun. You tell me again, what was the shaman bow? Petal and horn. You have no thing. No. What? Give me 6. 3 each, 2 kind. Oh, okay. I don't have 3 of the horn. Okay. Meh. I see now. Like I said, sometimes I think I have a learning disorder and things do not conceptualize. Hey, G-Helmet. Welcome into the stream. Vest was Fang and Feather. Okay. How's your prep going? G-Helmet. Ooh. Pretty good. I made shops to use the players if needed. I have 3 towns built, 1 castle. I have a full dungeon if needed with enemies. Going up. Good. Sounds like you got quite a build up here. Ara beam tech. Sorry. I'm about to jump in making journal. Uploads. Nice. I'm being stubborn and I'm going back just to get Luca. Since I steal assets from an existing game, it's all matter of copy paste and just the assets. Well, I hope you guys don't mind in the stream here for a few. I'm probably just going to grind a little bit to get those other components to get some stuff real quick before we go and try to repair Masamune. Or something Amuni. We can talk as we do it anyway. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I was going to ask you earlier, Erica, about the LARP. How long does those sessions normally go? To put more fact, like, what do you think is the most useful part of the rules that could benefit from easy to find journals? Ours around 5 hours. I'm going to respond to Erica's real quick just because it's a quicker response and I had a follow-up question to it. How often do you do it? To put more Fabula time, once again reading this, what do you think is the most useful part of the rules that could benefit from easy to find journals? I mean, I really think if you just had like this, the player, well, here's the thing, character sheets have a lot of the player layout that like the actual PDF has that shows like, you know, quick reminders of stuff of like what actions and stuff are and what Fabula points are and what you can use them for, I think. But using a chart, having a chart to show what you can use for Fabula points is nice. If that's what you're saying as far as reference, a quick reference, basically. But it can be but it can vary a great deal from LARP to LARP. Like at the end of February, we did a big annual thing that was 8 or so hours, and the 10, and oh my gosh, I can't read, and 10 the next. It was rough. We had 8 to 10 hours. That's like a full, like, at that point when they're that long, do you guys look to like cater that? Yeah, that's what I would say. Once again, G Hellman, is quick references, like letting them understand accuracy checks, magic checks, opposing checks. Now, they're not really going to be one that's directing opposing checks. You probably would. A quick reference of the IP points, like the tonics, remedies, and all that stuff. Maybe them having understanding. I mean, I don't know if they need to understand the difference between resistance, vulnerable, and absorb. I mean, it depends on the players, but just to have them remember there's certain aspects for quick reference. We had a food truck on site for that big one. Okay, good. I was gonna say, to ask anyone's time, whether it's entertaining or not, for 8 to 10 hours. Like, some sort of sustenance must be in order. I used to participate in a weekend-long camping affair that was 40 hours. Like, that's some devotion right there. Okay. I just realized. Oh no, that's right. Oh, I forgot. Go ahead and drink happy water or whatever. Yeah, I was gonna say I actually have my Fabula book real quick. I know there's just a straight up quick reference PDF that you can get from, I think, from Need Games that might have just a straight, you know, you could upload it. Like I said, I think Project FU has done a phenomenal job of really making a lot of that stuff just there on the character sheets. And I have been thinking about that too, like you were talking about, Almond, on doing a video that kind of showcases the player side to help them understand, because I think that's been one of I said that in my GM Insight. If you're not all in with a game, they're not going to be either. So you have to make sure that not only do they understand the game rules, they understand the tools they're using. I have a couple of people that are in my Foundry game, but they just refuse to try to adapt to Foundry, even though it's not hard. They're like, they use Roll20 all the time, but for some reason Foundry is above their contribution table. But I think they're coming along soon, or coming along to it. But like, even when I do group checks with them, I never do them through Foundry, because half my people use Foundry and the other two use real dice, mostly because they don't feel that Foundry's random roll is legitimate. So I just let them do whatever they feel is more comfortable for them. Yeah, player side of the game would be a good onboarding video for the players. Yeah, I'll definitely consider that soon. Going into depth on what to expect a player and how to jump in the game easily. Well, I don't know if I have a reference on how to jump into the game easily, because everyone's different. But like, that's why I always do those videos, you know, in pieces to teach. But at the same time, I pick up what you're putting down. Foundry can be configured to allow for manual rolls, where you enter the results. I'll consider that. That's good to know. And regarding quick reference, I recommend the GM screen from the GM toolkit. Yes, absolutely. I'm sitting here looking at the core rulebook. I've literally got the GM screen right here. That's actually a great piece of well, actually, this is the Game Master booklet. My GM screen's behind me. I mean, there's there's not really anything that you're hiding as a GM to players. I mean, they should be well aware of the rules as anything else. I mean, I don't feel like Fabula Ultima's rule system there's areas for the GM to officiate, but there's no like secret rules, I think, that the players don't benefit in not knowing. And worth noting, PFU has an integration for the PDF pager module and the page reference bits on each item's features. We will link to the PDF if you add it to Foundry. I'll need to look into that. I also noticed I've tried to stay up to date. Is there a Fultimator importer still to that? Or I figured it might have changed up a bit, considering how like with the baseline stuff changing and all that stuff. I put all my books in PDF Generals. It's complete section. Nice. It's a separate module. That I knew that. I didn't. I guess I was asking if you knew how spot like is it intuitive and does it run pretty smoothly, or is there a lot of work around you have to work with it? I guess is what I'm asking on that. Quit beating up Chrono. Okay, seriously. Okay. Are these items like the petals and the fangs and stuff just random, or is there like more likely certain monsters that drop horns and stuff like that? For the full iron point, you'll want to double check that it's picking up the accuracy and damage expressions correctly, but otherwise it's pretty seamless. Okay, cool. The reason why I think I was even second guessing, like I was just there wrong time, like the wrong time when I was doing the last video when we upped the update to like I think it was 4.70 where we had the baseline and all the rolls and stuff. I don't know when exactly that changed, but I noticed there was a few adaptations to make like accuracy rolls weren't working right, or no, accuracy was, but like damage wasn't and all that. So but I know they fixed it like super quick too, to the point where I had to update my video to say it was fixed because it happened so quickly after I had moved my video out. I put a picture of my journal / core rule books to let you see in the showcase of your Discord. Cool, thank you. Going the right way. So. Oh, good. A horn. I need one of them. Oh, that's not what I meant. Oh well. Bunny Moon 6 Square's S excuse me. Square's SNES RPGs always had the best sound effects. Couldn't agree more. That they are 100% unique, even though they are replicated a lot of times in the same games. But they hit the feels. It's like I go back to a lot of like Sega games I played, and they all have the same distorted sound and stuff, especially like the music. It's all that just kind of like I said, it's almost distorted like metal sound that I was never very attracted to. It is a 7. I'm just blind, so my bad on that. Also, if you came into my first stream, I was really struggling with Roman numerals in this game, so. My apologies for misreading. By the way, welcome to my stream, Bunny Moon. Have you been on my stream before? It's weird. I just started a couple of weeks ago, but this is now, I think, my 6th stream since then. So, I've got a few of the common criminals in here. I will say, in all of my criticism, I would say is the right word, of Sea of Stars, the one thing I do really like is the ability to sneak up on people and engage to get a little bit of a one-up on them in the fight. But first time live was watching your How to Fabula Ultima. Hey, great! Thank you for hopping in and saying hello. And I hope overall you've enjoyed the content on the How to Fabula Ultima stuff. It's gonna keep coming. I had to take a small break because I had surgery recently, but I just released my last villains video and moving on to new things. Always good to see more FU content. Couldn't agree more. That's why I started doing it, to be perfectly honest. I was really just dissuaded from the bigger games. Like, I mean, I was just pretty much done with D&D, even though I still run a 5e Curse of Strahd game. But I tried to find stuff on YouTube, and I couldn't really find much outside of a few particular reviews of the game and maybe a few long, in-depth, like 2-hour videos on just the entirety of the book, but not really breaking it down in a useful manner. G Helmet says, and we are discussing here on what he should do next. Yes, I am going to do the video that was voted on in my stream, which is class build philosophy. Then after that, I'll start working on other stuff. You were burnt by bad D&D sessions too. I didn't really have too many issues with the actual game, like sessions and the people, because I still play with the same people and stuff. I just never. I've in my age, I've played 2nd edition, 3rd edition, 3.5. I missed 4, and I really was excited to come back to 5 after not really playing in a while, and it just doesn't hit right for me, and I was not a big fan with, I mean, obviously with what's gone forth, like Jeremy Crawford, the writer, is not my favorite. On top of that, I'm not the biggest fan of how they handled that OGL licensing and trying to extort money from a bunch of content creators and tried to act like they were the good guys. I mean, they weren't hanging by the right strings, in my opinion, and they did a really poor job of trying to amend what they did. Anytime I see someone on, like, I was on TikTok for a while for my content, and anytime I saw new people, they're like, hey, I'm really interested in wanting to play D&D. What recommendations? I without being an ass, I wanted to be like, don't play D&D. Try something different. I know D&D is the most mainstream. It's easy to be accessible and probably the easiest to find. But if you're really that interested, go to your local game store and find something different. I also just never felt like D&D could handle the sort of stories I like. Hey, yeah. What type of stories do you enjoy? Come on. You have JRPG brain. Yeah, me too, to a certain extent. And that's why when I think I came across Fabula Ultima just like one day Googling Final Fantasy TTRPG. And of course I found some, like, you know, half-assed, you know, modded D&D stuff and all that stuff. And then just all of a sudden found Fabula Ultima. And I was like, what is this? And you're now looking at its translations. It's the bane of many players nowadays. Not all, though. It's more than some players want to make stories and not play a war game. D&D is terrifying from a war game at start, and the DNA still is there to this day. Yeah, I mean, I've played the old, I've played all the way since before, like, you know, I didn't have battle maps, you know, it was all theater of the mind stuff, and there was a lot of narrative and stuff that it wasn't really a war game for me at that aspect, but, you know, it definitely became more and more like that. And I don't have anything problem with, like, war games and stuff either. It's just, I really felt like 5th edition was not designed to support the DM. It wasn't really catering to the nostalgia that people loved in D&D. The books were poorly written. The monster manuals didn't really give you much backstory on half the monsters that were conceptualized. They were just stat blocks. I feel like for a system that is derived from all of its success, all of its notoriety, with the financial backing of Hasbro and WotC, like, it could be a lot better. Also, I like Sailor Moon and Magic Knight Rayearth, and I think FU could also do magical girl type story. I couldn't agree more. That's the other thing, is I think it's not just JRPGs is obviously the setting, but a lot of people that try to give me pushback, they're like, well, I don't play JRPGs. I'm like, well, do you like anime? Because anime is, a lot of these games, this is basically an anime translation through a JRPG. There's the tropes, there's the style, it's all 100% there. MKR was an old one. Was awesome. Yeah. Did you watch Makoto Magica? I did not. The MKR inspired game is my TTRPG White Wolf. By the way, there is homebrew MN Magical Girl class in the VTT for Fabula. FU can handle magical girls very well. Oh, okay, cool. I've been very cautious on allowing any homebrew classes in my games so far. So my players already are insane. Madoka is the dark side of magical girl. Okay, cool. Wow, whale, not white wolf. That's why I was like, White Wolf. I was like, isn't that the publishers that did Vampire the Masquerade and like World of Darkness? All right, I think I got enough to get out of here. Oh, what I would give for the spell Warp or Exit from Final Fantasy. One of my favorite PC games of all time is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. That was such a great game for its time. Never really played the actual TTRPG, though. I never really had a crew of people that were ever interested in running it. And to be perfectly honest, in my age frame, there wasn't... I'm not trying to pick on anyone on this, but there was a particular niche of people that wanted to play World of Darkness, and I did not have access to them, or they were very gatekeepy in that. But if you want to chat all about Fabula, you can also join Voices Discord. We are trying to build community. Yeah, you're more than welcome. It's on my YouTube page. I'm just now opening it, but I'm welcoming people to share their experiences, share their suggestions, and I want to help people with my videos, and it's an open forum. The LARP I'm doing this weekend is Vampire the Masquerade. That's awesome. Bloodline is so good. Yeah, Bloodline is so good. Like the fact that there was multiple endings in that too. And like I want you to understand, Erica, I'm not criticizing the Vampire Masquerade community. Just in my 20s, I live in Oklahoma. I'm a very Christian white nationalist area, and so my exposure to that was not very big. So I didn't really have, and the few people that were very protective. And I understand there was a bunch of bullshit that's around here. So. You are more than welcome to my Discord, Erica. I was going to throw it out eventually. I literally just opened it a couple of days ago, and Zenfire jumped in on it. I think once I hit 500 subscribers, which I'm assuming is going to probably be within the next month. I don't really track that, but I was actually surprised with my growth on it. I'll probably just do a live hangout and just invite people, come around and chat, and in the way we are now, but be a little bit more attentive to you guys and not me trying to play a game while talking as well. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, the VTM community definitely has some BS around it. We've had to be really quite aggressive in cultivating our community because of it. I mean, I can imagine. Like I said, unfortunately, there is, and I don't want to give it a stigma or anything like that, but some of the people that were, part of that local group were also not the best people, and kind of, I don't think I really have to speak out loud the advantages they were taking of people. That's not what my stream's about. So it's the people, not the community. But I think you find that in any gatekeeping or enclosed thing where people are trying to control everything. It's not a healthy factor in no matter what the group. I have a feeling me casting fire is going to be bad. Am I even going the right way? I think I am. Keep feeling like I'm going backwards. Yep, I am. Goodness gracious. Got to get out of this prehistoric era here. Am I going the right way? I feel like now I'm going back the other way. There we go. Now I know where I'm at. Give happy water. All right. Well, I guess I should look to see who can wear the ruby vest. Oh, everyone, and it's a defensive upgrade. Okay. So, for optimization, which I'm not trying to really do, is it worth my time to farm enough freaking horns to everyone have a ruby vest in the group? Or am I going to do this and then 30 minutes get into a new area where someone's like, hey, would you like to buy something? And then ruby vests are there for purchase. That's one of the things I felt very scorned by retro JRPGs sometimes. And of course, there's certain things that are unique in games as well. You just don't know. While I ask that question, I'm actually going to take a pause real quick and grab another drink. All right, I am back. Thanks for waiting, guys. All right, I don't remember, to be honest, but I have some memory to have done it. Okay. And then good timing on the break. My rice is ready, so now I can eat. Awesome. Is it just, what type of rice? So you're just eating white rice only? I guess another thing I'm asking, it's like even like the oh, I've got a decent amount of stuff now. Like the shaman's bow here. How quickly am I going to be replacing this going forward? I feel like you utilize weapons pretty quickly, but I'm just making sure, is there something significant about this? Because like, does the shaman's bow do anything that like I wish I had for Marl? Beans and rice. Heck yeah. What kind of beans? Sorry if I'm being too invasive on your culinary evening. One of my favorite things is red beans and rice, the southern dish. Dunno. All right. All right. All right. Well, let's just. I'm usually I usually risk the gambit here, so spiced up everyone's. There you go. Red, very similar. Reds, beans, and rice. Petal and feather is stone arm. Fang and thorn is mammoth tusk. The dono was for how quickly you replace your gear. Oh, okay, gotcha. Petal and feather for stone arm. Fang and horn for mammoth tusk. And then fang and horn. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Okay. I'm assuming stone arm goes to Robo. Pretty good, decent upgrade. I'm not sure what the mammoth tusk is. Just doesn't say. Interesting. Okay. Okay, whatever. All right, let's get out of this prehistoric world. Boom, 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 ba-doom. Boom, 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 ba-doom. I really wish I had Ayla still. I liked Ayla. Sorry if I'm making crunch sounds here. Zero damage from the stone arm. Stampede. All right, let's go to Melchior. See what excuses he has this time. It's right down here.
Dear me, you truly found Dreamstone. Yes, that'll do quite nicely with what I can make the blade whole again. With that, I can make the whole blade. But first, the Masamune. And now this Dreamstone. How in the world did you? No, I suppose it doesn't matter. Make yourselves at home. This will take some time.
Just realized I made his voice change, but I finally found the voice I want out of him.
I'll lend a hand.
His name is Hatari Hanzo. You must have a big vermin to kill.
How are you going to fix it?
Okay.
Do not interrupt me while I'm trying to read.
Okay. Well, I guess that means go to bed. Sir Chrono, the Masamune has not yet been fully repaired. Okay, so... all right. Does Melchior not have a bed? Got a lot of swords.
Of course, the Dreamstone must be refined if we are to repair the Masamune. But that is not all. The blade itself must be activated as well. You work on the Dreamstone. I will take care of the sword.
Okay. Fear not, the great Luca knows her way around the workshop.
Okay.
Well, better get busy.
He took the sword. Now, Luca, you do your thing. Man, I just got these fiery hot Chex Mix. They're hard to eat. There's a punch to them.
All right, it's done. Could you bring me the Dreamstone?
I'm done here too.
All right, let's get started. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Look at that bad boy.
Behold, the Masamune in all its glory.
How peculiar. My sensors are detecting pulses of mental energy emanating from the Masamune.
If you were expecting lesser work, you shouldn't have come to me.
Chrono, let us take this Masamune to Glen. All right, let's do that. 680.
In the haunted forest.
I think this was it. Yep. just now noticed this. I love how every time they come to the portal, they're all like, yeah. I was just thinking that's something you could probably do with monsters too, to give like flying ability or flying monsters an obnoxious ability to like lift other monsters that are not flying to take them out of fight and have to force on range. I guess if you wanted to, you could just make everyone fly, but as far as an unexpected mechanic. Sorry if chat's silent. We are talking in your Discord. Oh, okay, well. I guess I've created my own monster. It's worked against me. They're making me share stuff. That's all good. The whole part of this is me to experience the game, and I welcome the nostalgic following that comes with it. But I can't be upset that you are collectively discussing Fabula Ultima stuff in the Fabula Ultima driven Discord that I've created. And Erica wants us to lie that game with Era in it ain't the best one. It's the one with Cecil in it. I cannot agree with you. Final Fantasy IV is my second favorite, but 6 hits it home for me. Yeah, Dissidia has Terra in it. I actually didn't play too many Dissidia games. I saw the recent trailer for the new one. I will say this, I have a lot of nostalgia love for Final Fantasy IV. I actually just got a bunch of stuff from an Etsy creator that they did like a whole tarot card set of Final Fantasy stuff, and there was a lot of like kind of Yoshitaka Amano style drawings they did on them, and there were some cool like 4 and 6 entities on there. Heck, an oversight on my part, as does Brave Exvius. Yeah, Brave Exvius has a lot. Yeah, I had to put down Brave Exvius. That I dove too hard in that sinkhole. And Record Keeper, I'm sad it's a weird mobage. What am I doing here? There we go. It would have made an awesome, like, Final Fantasy World style game. You've come again. Look at that sword. This sword. No, it could not be. The Masamune. Mobile game. Duh. Okay. I'm old, but I'm not that old. I just didn't register in my brain. I must ponder this turn of events. You may remain here for the night. Like Hyrule. Okay. I want City Wars. That would be cool, and especially if there was a lot of great contribution. Like, I would love that too. I talk to my friends all the time. Like, they were talking about if they want a Final Fantasy VI remake. I don't, but I would love a truly devoted, well-created like anime series based off of that. That would reintroduce the world to new people to maybe play the old game. I did see they were making the Black Mages little anime that's in the Final Fantasy IX era. The new Dissidia has a really cool aesthetic. I'll give it that much. Yeah, it does look great. Cyrus, you're leaving, aren't you? I am. It's long past time we reclaim the badge from the Frog King. And I need to see that sword with my own eyes. Cyrus, this king has need of you. Lean and I need you as well. See that you return. I love a good 2D HD FF6. Wouldn't hate that either. Would love that. I actually enjoyed the Pixel remaster. For the few things they added to it. Man, voice acting. So I'll tell you this. I'm far from an actual established voice actor. I do voiceover work on the side, and I did not realize until I started really getting into it how nitpicky I am on voice acting on characters. Like, I watched I never played the DS Final Fantasy IV. I think it was DS, and they had Kane's voice, and it was so not what I expected, and I did not like it. However, I loved Liam O'Brien being Kane Highwind in the I think it was one of the Dissidia games. At this point, every SNES era FF remade into a 2D HD. Voice acting totally elevated FF Tactics to the next level. Not that it was not that already. So, 100%, I think that's a if you can get the right cast and do the right thing, it does hit the right vein. Well then, by your leave. What was the same actor? Sir Cyrus! On behalf of the knighthood, we wish to safe journey and Godspeed. Was he really? That sounded so distinctly different when I first heard it. Maybe I'm thinking of another port. It was really bad. It was like Cecil. It was so not good. So I can't imagine that was Liam O'Brien that I heard, but it's all good. I mean, Liam O'Brien does fantastic in what I have heard. It's like with audiobook. The audiobook reader sometimes makes the book way better. A bad reader can... Yep. I have probably auditioned for probably about 25 audiobooks. None of them I got. I had a couple of nears, but I started listening to some of the people that have been successful. I'm like, man, not that I think I'm amazing, but some of the people that do get gigs, I'm just like, wow, how did they get that? Bad direction can nerf a critic. Couldn't agree more. I trust the kingdom's protection to you. See that she is kept safe from her enemies. Pardon the delay. Let us be on our way. Glenn, you be careful too. Be well, your majesty. To see how you do voices, I can see getting a gig on audiobook. Yeah, it's mostly how I want to represent it, because I'll say this, my paid... Oh, whoa, what's going on here? Hold on. So, you seek the hero's badge, Knight of the Kingdom of Men. Oh, sorry, I thought that was him. Well, let me redo that. So, you seek the hero's badge, Knight of the Kingdom of Men. Come and take it, if you can. That is what I mean to do. Nirvana strike! I am beaten. Filthy badge. Do not think I'll forget this. No, it's I've done some audiobook gigs for one of my demos was me doing a small chapter of Knights of the Black Rose, one of my favorite Ravenloft books, the story of Lord Soth. And my version is so much different than the original audiobook version I heard, but the person who does that is phenomenal too. But I still also like my pacing better, even though I like his voice, his style. But then I've listened to other books and they're not as good in the Ravenloft series.
Cyrus, your sword! The Masamune!
Is that the best you can do? Without your sword, you're nothing.
You've not bested me. Cyrus, I'm done for. Listen to me, Glenn. You will hold them here. Use that chance to escape. But stay, and they will only kill us both. Go, Glenn. Hadn't you better worry about yourself, Cyrus? I do not think you've the time to be concerned with well-being of others. This is it, Glenn. Go. I love the rainbow in the back in this little dark moment. Cyrus! Run. Run, Glenn. The Queen. Take care of the Queen. I beg. Wow. Cyrus! Cyrus! No! I believe the Masamune was named the Grand Leon or the Grand Leon in Japanese, since it's, a knightly sword and not a katana. Oh, I never knew that. What's the matter? Are you not going to try your luck?
Like a scared little frog with no pond to jump into. How about it, Lord Magus? Can't you give him a more fitting form?
Very well. No act of defiance goes unpunished. No! No, Glenn.
That's more like it, you spineless wimp.
"10 long years have passed. Have I the strength, O Cyrus?" Sorry if my interpretation of voice hacking for him is breaking nostalgic familiarity for you all, after I just talked about how I hated the first interpretation of voice acting of Cade. Chrono Trigger was peak Ted Woosley era of localizations. Don't hate me. Who's Ted Woosley? Awaken, Chrono. I do not know how far my skills will carry me, but I will put them to the test. Let us go to Magus's Keep. His strength is no small thing. Do you understand the odds you face?
Nothing can beat science. We must do it for the future.
The guy who translated this in Final Fantasy VI. Oh, okay, great. I'll bring Marl in for a little bit. I'm just change it up a bit. All the popular meme lines from Kefka are cause of him. Oh, nice. Hey, that's my guy, Kefka. That's my Kefka shirt right here. Oh. That's a horrible Kefka laugh. Ones they keep in other more accurate translations. Okay. I actually had a friend that bought me a shirt for Final Fantasy VI, and I was so thrown off by it because not knowing
the Japanese or not translation, but like names. Like I did not know Mash was Saban's name, and there were some some of the names on there were like off, and I was like, is this just like some horribly translated bootleg? And then I started to realize there's that's what it was. It was the result of the actual game. Capcantina. Mm-hmm. I'm so dense. I remember I ran a D&D game. It was a homebrew, and one of my players, who's still in my Fabula Ultima game, she made a halfling monk named Renee, and I did not realize forever it was Saban. Like it was Saban. I was like, I'm an idiot that I didn't realize, because that's like his middle name or whatever, and part of his surname or whatever. I just wasted time doing that. This is outside the box, but I was actually just thinking, I just watched this monster do that attack where it like jumps on Chrono, inflates, and it's too heavy for him, does damage. I was thinking about something similar like that in Fabula Ultima, where instead of it's actually a successful like attack, they jump, just jump at the enemy, like a creature jumps the enemy, puts weight down, and having them do some sort of like might check. And based on their failure, like the DC, not failure, but the level of their DC is like it's either minor damage, medium damage, or if it's really bad, like it could be almost major. But that's not really in the accuracy check attack. But that's what I say. You get into a point in Fabula Ultima, you start coming up with creative things, and you just want to make sure you're not breaking the game system as intended. Still talking about Marco, huh? All right. We said we're going to Magus' Tower. Question is that here in this era? Oh, we meet again. What say you buy me a drink? There comes to a point, Fabula, where the system kind of breaks itself. Level 30 plus is kind of all bets are off territory. Yeah, I can see that. Like, I mean, especially when you start getting to the point where you have so many class synergies and stuff that start doing stuff. I can 100% see that. And that's not including weapons and all the stuff you add. And that's not including zero powers, quirks. Yep, those synergies can get kind of nuts once heroics go. I can only imagine. My players are at like level 15 right now, and I know it's coming.
Ah! Stop that! Oh no, it's Cyrus! Run! Thank you, Cyrus. Glenn, there are times when a man must stand and face the things that trouble them. But it hurts to be hit. I cannot hurt another, not even them. You're too soft, Glenn. Glenn, I've decided to join the knighthood. I thought as much. You'll be a fine knight, I'm sure of it. Won't you come with me? I cannot. But why? You're a better sword than I, and you've always have been. I haven't the nerve it takes to be a knight. In a real battle, the fear would take me.
Such beautiful visuals for a era of game.
No!
Ugh. Aw, he's got his tongue hanging out and everything. There's that heroic badge. Badge. The hero's badge. It's actually real. I was gonna say I've been waiting to see this because everyone's like, I love his story, blah, 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 you know, et cetera, et cetera. It's actually kind of crazy how I feel more spotlighted he is than the rest of the characters so far. The Masamune, if you please. I found your entire Fabula Ultima playlist very helpful. My group is hopefully starting a campaign soon. Awesome, and thanks for joining the group or the channel, Hajikura. I highly recommend it, not just to GMs. People that are playing that game, play the game, should look at the videos. Well, they should read the core rulebook, but my videos are hoping to open the intrigue into the core rulebook. Are you going to be playing in person, or are you playing remote or like online? We will have cutscenes here. Based. Love this part. Okay, I'll get back onto this. Sorry. My name is Glenn. Long have I carried Cyrus's hopes and dreams, and now I bear the Masamune as well. Henceforth, I claim them as my own. I shall slay the Fiend Lord Magus and restore our honor. Ooh, here we go. Nice. Through Foundry? Heck yeah. Well, just so you know, Una Reckon here is very involved in Project FU. If you're not already on their Discord, they add their own modules and stuff, and is a great contributor to the Foundry. Man, he is jacked for a frog. Yeah. Nothing like a little bit of heroic vengeance. Mhm. True. Akira Toriyama, everyone's jacked. Yeah, you're welcome to join my Discord as well. I just started opening it, and everyone's welcome to share their experiences or have questions. Of course, the both Project FU and the other the Rooster games, the Emmanuel runs, or at least is part of, and the Fabula Ultima Discord are all great sources for the game. I was going to say real quick also, as far as the Project FU module, if you're not in the Discord already, if you join that, there are links in both my Foundry VTT video, which I'm probably going to be doing more of here soon, and my most recent video, the Villains video. There is a tutorials channel on the Project FU that Azure LOL put out. That's a nice, almost step-by-step rundown of setting up Foundry and kind of what to expect. A baseline. Glenn is the baseline for every frog character. Made sense. There's other frog characters? Well, it's funny you said, I did bring up the other day that in my Fabula Ultima game, there is a swampland where four-armed frogs are basically the main denizens of, called Tunkuska, that my friend just made up, but then she spent a Fabula point to make sure the race's name are Glenoris. So there you go. There's the influence. I should share my How to JRPG 5 Foundry guide sometime. Absolutely. I'm not trying to ever steal the limelight of anyone's stuff, but if you have part of my voice acting gigs and stuff is me doing onboarding stuff and stuff like that. So I enjoy being able to help people translate anything they create or write or whatever. If I can ever help you making that more forward in presentation, I'm more than happy to do so, Erica. It's just me understanding it. Okay, these guys are a little more resilient than... Let's get an Aura Whirl going here. Okay, these guys attack way too fast. After this battle, I need to pause really quick here. Just realized what time it is. I gotta go do something. Let my dogs out real quick. Okay. These resilient rats need to die quicker. It's the first time I've cast ice with this character. Look at that flex. Glenn's level increased. I was actually just about to ask, can he wield magic as well? Could it be that you wield magic? I thought only fiends could employ it now. You might be able to learn it too if you visit the End of Time. I was literally just wondering that. All right, pausing real quick, and I will be right back. All right, I am back. Thank you all for your patience. Should have a concern that there is a bat following me around in this cave. Mysterious force seals it shut. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. No worries. Cool. There's another thing I'm going to add in my Discord. I was just thinking is I'm going to like showcase like people's like fandom of these type of games and JRPG stuff, and like also trying to get some love towards some other I'd say content creators, but I said before, there's a couple of people on Etsy that do some really awesome like Final Fantasy exclusive and Chrono Trigger stuff that I've purchased, and they're just a small little business and stuff, but they do really cool and cute things that I'd love to spotlight them. Let's see where I'm at here. I just realized I have like no AoE damage in this setup. I'm gonna cycle. Which is not very good. Dang, building the journal entry in Foundry is hard to make it look right. It does not register spacing. Yeah, there's definitely some, there's some people that have really put their investment on making it look good, and I'm like, how do they do that? But I've never really put the time into doing that. Yeah, welcome to HTML, yep. Marl, you're probably about to get out of here and be replaced by Robo. Oh, stop it. You chose to come in here. Don't act all tough behind the door. So much Marl hate. I'm jaded from that entire council situation. I know she came in and was like, no, stop, but like that whole setup, like that was Squaresoft conditioning, and then they're like, let's take a game and punish you for how we trained you to play our games. Look, all I'm saying is I got blamed for running into her when she clearly was. The entire beginning of the game, she fat shamed me for taking some lunch. and made fun of me. Then during the session, the part where Robo gets gang beat down by his like former Robo compatriots when he's being rebuilt by Luca all night, she's the only one like asleep with her back turned. I don't feel like she is a committed party member. There we go. Man, these little rats are quick. Yeah, it was the one session you said you missed out on. I mean, was it camping? Like they were still in like the proto dome or whatever. Yeah. No. I was gonna say, I mean, they were hanging out, but good to know. Robo gets repaired a surprising amount. Is it always Marl's fault? I'm gonna stop bullying her. I don't really have too much disdain to her. The beginning of this game, she was really starting to climb her way up as least favorite JRPG character of all time, but that will be impossible to ever replace Hope from Final Fantasy 13. Now, there's much difference seeing that when you get to you'll very much gotcha. The message is scrawled in blood here. Beware the jugglers in the Fiend Lord's Keep. Strike them, and they tighten their defense against the blows. Cast spells upon them, and they strengthen their defense against magic. Okay. I keep seeing all these hints where he's like, maybe you can learn magic, Frog, and then they're talking about magic. I'm starting to feel like it'd be advantageous to me to actually go back to the whatever of time and get him his magic. There is no one... I had a feeling I was going to get called out on the Hope 8. There is not an instance in that game he ever felt contributing, worth time. He sniveled through almost 80% of the first game, and then gets fast forward into this super intelligent, like, whatever, comm pilot system. There's no love I have for that one. I'm not going to shame you if you love him, but I will. I was 14 once, and I was never that whiny. Then again, I did not live in a dystopian nature where my mom died, but at the same time, everyone is a product of tragedy in that game. He is unbearable to listen to. He's almost as bad as Snow when he gets into the heroic lovey-dovey thing with Sarah. But he still takes the cake. No one comes close to me other than as far as worst Final Fantasy character of all time is Hope. I hope that doesn't lose your interest in my devotion. Everyone has their opinions, but at the same time, he almost ruined the game for me. I will say this, at least he had a personality like unlike any character in Final Fantasy 12. No, I mean, I'm free reign to, I would never, I do not jerk. I'm never going to hate on people's love or call them stupid or be mean about it or anything like that, but I will hold down my fort of disdain towards him. All right, let's go get some magic for you. Now, there's a weird fellow. Looks like his power is water. And a frog who'd guessed. Ipso facto minimo magic O. Look at that flex. Glenn learned to use magic. So all fortified with magic. Want to try it out? All right. Water. Oh, that's an adorable cast. But yeah, in general, you should bring every new party member here for magic. Okay, I noticed, obviously, because Robo was not human, he made that an acknowledgement, but water in a JRPG. Yeah, you're actually right. I remember in Final Fantasy, like, I was, unless you used Poseidon, obviously, in Final Fantasy IV, or I guess others, but then, I win! You make any new friends, you bring them to see me, you hear? I like you guys. I remember Rubicant, I believe is his name, being able to, or no, it wasn't Rubicant, it was the other fiend that could do the water. I was like, I want to be able to do water magic. Oh god, I look away for half a second and Chrono is McFucking dead. Hey, what do you want me to do? He's a powerful entity there, this harbinger of magic. Kanazo. Mm-hmm. It's been a minute. I can visualize all four fiends, but some of the names are blank on my brain off the top of my head. Truce Cannon, yes. I could tell. Specchio was handing me my ass. Hi, I've missed a few streams. Hey, no worries. I'd be perfectly honest. I have not been very true to my schedule in playing a lot more. Mostly because I've been enjoying playing it. And second of all, I've just had more time on my hands with my surgery and stuff. I haven't been able to go out and do other things that have been demanding of my time. So welcome aboard. Kinanza, Rubicant, that's right, Milan and Val. I don't remember Valvalis, but like name-wise, but maybe it was Rubicante, but I always said Rubicant when I was younger. It's nice. I like it. Yeah, it's been great so far, and we've. If you're ever interested, I have the videos are on demand. So if you ever get to a point where you're curious, I had a moment with something that you may have missed. They're all logged on my YouTube under live. Those aren't the Final Fantasy 4 names. I know Rubicant for sure. She's the girl with the yellow hair that'll do the wind magic. That's the, oh man, I forgot to. So, and maybe you guys have seen this. So for one of my friends, like I said, for Christmas, I found a lot of really unique. I think they were like in 2004 or something like that in Japan, but they were these Yoshitaka Amano like released cards from Final Fantasy 4 and 6, and I got almost all the 4 cards for her. They all look awesome. Where am I going here? Oh, that's right. I need to go to Medina. I'm just walking around, going the wrong places. Every time you come back, you get ambushed here. Barbarisia, that's how I remember that. And okay, I was got Rubicon for sure. I remembered, but the others, like, I was like, I did not remember those being the names. I definitely remember Barbarisia and Scarmiglione or whatever the he sounds like a mob boss. Scarmiglione. Remember these because of Final Fantasy 14. And I'm glad they actually spotlight those. I never really played 14, but I'm glad they had series of, like, whatever you want to call them, not expansions, but patch releases where they, like, spotlighted those guys. I've seen some of that. Depending on the version you played, the names have moved a lot. I remember the ones Bunny just listed earlier, and Erica from my SNES. At least it feels like it was. Those seem a lot more familiar. Space constraints, woo, yep. Brain, where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? Magic Cave, that's right. Where was that? I keep going to the wrong place. 680. I think I'd remember where these are by now. Oh. In many ways, Final Fantasy XIV is the most Final Fantasy of all Final Fantasies. I only played it right when it came in its redemption after it really bombed and almost got canceled, and then they did the rebirth or whatever it was called, Final Fantasy whatever Reborn or whatever. I played it for a while, but I was just getting out of, like, I'd gotten so burnt out with MMOs. I never really played it. I put way too many years in World of Warcraft, and I was just kind of done. A Realm Reborn, that's right. That's right, it's further down, past the Xenon Bridge. They kind of pulled all the Final Fantasies in a blender. I will say this, and it was mentioned earlier, I think by Erica, Brave Exvius or whatever, Bravus Exvius, whatever it's called, on the mobile. I say this with apologies. I try not to be as profane as I normally am, but fuck that game. That game drained so much money from me. I've been doing 14 off and on more than off since AAR released. I've gotten to a point where I just struggle to, like, I've got so many, like, I'll tell you this, me playing these, like, getting to hang out you guys and, like, do this and stuff has been a good little push, because if I hadn't, I still probably would never play this game. I'm just so bad at commitment to a game nowadays, unless I'm, like, playing one with my friend in rare time frames. Otherwise, I always go, well, you know, with this time, instead of playing a game, I could be working on my D&D game or my Fabula Ultima game, or, you know, or whatever. So I never really put my time investment on actual playing games. And I struggle the most with MMOs. But I've also gotten to a comfortable area with my Fabula Ultima game and my people that I play with. I know I don't really have to prep much, so that one's not that much of a demand. I either finish games in a month or never nowadays. Yep. Well, it's like, here's the thing, like, one of the games I look forward to the most, like, this is beyond 10 years, was Witcher 3. And I was so excited for it. I played Witcher 1 and 2, and then 3 came out, and it deserves all of its notoriety, its accomplishments, it just everything it has. I struggle to enjoy playing that game, and I don't know why. It's not that I think it's bad. I think it's incredible. The voice acting's great. Like there's nothing bad about that game, in my opinion, but I cannot keep committed to it. I don't know if it's the open worldness that makes me feel detached from a plot point, or what, but the last game that was like a full modern game that I played just a lot of time into was Like a Dragon not Infinite Wealth, sorry. Yakuza Like a Dragon, the first one. That was great. That game was absurdly great. I haven't played Infinite Wealth. I own it, but I have not played it yet. Oh, I meant to do Aura World, not Aura. I played Final Fantasy XIV a bit when ARR first came out, then it stopped before HW came out, and then just got back into late 2024. I gotta get through some. Yep, let's say this wasn't even counting like these games, like the games I'm now putting on my list to be part of the Fabula Vault here. There's so many. Like, so I have Cyberpunk 2077 that I did play extensively when it first came out, but I had it on the Xbox One, and that was all kinds of awful problems. So I never really got to truly play it in its glory. So I need to do that. I said I've got Infinite Wealth. I know I've got some other games I haven't touched on there. And Shadowbringers gave me a Catboy brain. Actually, let's go back to that and remember what that said. The juggler, strike them and they tighten their defense against blows, cast spells upon them, and they strengthen their okay, good to know. Okay, look, let me put this into perspective. When I went to go see Wicked, I had no idea who Jonathan Bailey was. Jonathan Bailey. That's okay, I still don't know who that is. When I saw Wicked for Good, I was obsessed with him. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd say I'm so out of that contemporary world. Well, all right, peeps. I think this is probably a good time for me to put a stick in it for the night, especially since it was impromptu. It's a Sunday. It's 8:30 my time, later for others. And it looks like I'm about to go into the big bad castle. So I think this will be a good stopping point. I may not have the next stream until Saturday. I don't really know. I'll throw something out soon. I really want to make a video before I go to town for work, so that'll probably be my focus. Anything like that. So. I pay attention to voice acting a lot as well. But hey, thank you guys all for being part of my stream tonight. I really appreciate it. If you haven't joined my Discord, sounds like most of you have, give it a go. And we're gonna keep on growing this community of JRPGs and Fabula Ultima. And as always, I thank you guys for being part of this. See, I knew there was some obligations we had to fulfill as adults in some aspect. So you all have a good night, and as always, if you ever have an opportunity to like or anything my videos, it helps. You're all subscribed, so I appreciate your time. But I'll see you in the Discords. Have a good night.